Do you know what to do if you or someone with you knocks out a permanent tooth? Most people get this wrong. So pay attention, you will be prepared. So number one is calm the patient. Assess them for concussion and all these horrible things. If you've got an injury that knocked out a tooth, you could be pretty ill and you need to get to the ER if they were knocked out, if they're vomiting, anything like that. And if they are not conscious, do not listen to any of these things except storing the tooth. But if they're conscious, and even if they're not, send someone on an escapade to find the tooth. What you do is you pick up the tooth. It's going to have a long yellow pointy part. This is a fake one, so you can't see the pointy end of the root, and then a white part. The white part is the crown. Touch it by only the crown. We are trying to preserve periodontal ligament cells on the outside of that root, and we don't want to disturb them. Now, if that tooth is visibly dirty, chunks of grass, dirt, it's not blood, it's not bone, it didn't just fall on the ground and you're worried about bacteria, but like visible chunks, and you need to clean it. You're going to clean it using biologic media, which I'm going to talk about later with storage, but you'll use the same thing. It's not water. It is never water. Do not use water and do not scrub the tooth. Okay, so once you have that tooth cleaned, or if it wasn't dirty in the first place, it just fell on the floor and it's really just got blood or a little bit of bone on it, you are going to do the hardest thing perhaps that you've ever had to do. The best prognosis for this tooth is to re-implant it. It needs to go back in the hole. And the sooner it goes back in, you just gently, firm, gentle pressure, press it back in, the easier it will be. They're running on adrenaline right now after just losing that tooth. It is not going to hurt that much getting it back in. It's not going to be that swollen and it won't have a blood clot. The sooner you get this in, like if you're a parent and your kid knocked that tooth out, put it back in ASAP. Get it in there. Put it back in. And then you're going to roll up a washcloth, have them bite down, and then call that dentist up. Get there within an hour is your goal, to try to get there as soon as possible. Now, if you cannot do this, you cannot put it back in, you're like, I will faint, there will be more teeth knocked out, or they're my mortal enemy, I'm just grossed out, there's germs, or whatever the reason, then you're going to store this tooth. And what you need is biologic media, which is not water. You need something with the appropriate biological osmolarity to keep those cells on that periodontal ligament on that root alive. Because our hope is by putting this tooth back in, it will reattach to the bone, and then you can get a root canal to clean out the dead nerve on the inside of the tooth, but you can still keep that tooth. It's going to look the most natural, more natural than anything else. It's going to hold bone position, and you can have it your whole life. A lot of people do. So you want to get it back in. And in kids, if that root is still open a little at the top, there's a chance that root can even revascularize. That tooth may not even die. I mean, it's phenomenal. Kids are like Wolverine. So you want to get that tooth back in. And I'm talking about kids with permanent teeth, not baby teeth. If that baby tooth comes out, bye-bye, gone, gone, see you tooth fairy, no baby teeth back in, just permanent teeth. But if you can't, these are the biologic media for storage. It's milk, or Hank's balanced salt solution. You can find that as Save a Tooth. You can get it on the Zona vans. I'll have it linked below in the description. Or saline, not contact solution, but like saline like in the hospital that they give you in the IVs. Or saliva. So spit in a cup and put that tooth in it. It can be yours as long as you don't have any communicable diseases, or the person's. If it has blood in it, doesn't matter, but just put it in a cup with spit. If it's an adult and say their child, the adult can store it in the cheek. Don't chew on it, but you can store it in your cheek, in your saliva, and bring it. I know, yeah. These are the things we didn't sign up for as parents, but I promise your kid will thank you when they can keep their front tooth and they won't have a fake one. So you get to the dentist then, same rule, as soon as possible, and they will put it back in, okay? So that's it. That's dental trauma. Do not put baby teeth back in. Do not scrub that tooth. Do not touch the root of the tooth. Want to get it back in place as soon as possible. This is all from the International Association of Dental Traumatology. They've got a wonderful app called Tooth SOS that you can download. I also have a dental trauma guide that you can print out and put in your emergency kit or on your medicine cabinet at home, and you can have right there in front of you in certain types of mouth injuries exactly what to do and how to manage them with your dentist info written on the side. So go check out below the link to my dental trauma guide and also that Tooth SOS app, and then the Amazon link to that Save a Tooth, which is the Hank's balanced salt solution, which is a great thing to keep in like coaches bags, your emergency kit at home to store a tooth if you need to get them to the dentist. Okay, how do you not put it back in backward? So in cross section, the tooth is somewhat triangular. The ones that are normally knocked out are these front four on the top or the bottom. And in cross section, can you see a little triangle like this? So the back of the triangle is the back, the side toward the palate or the tongue. Another way to think about it is the incisors are shovel shaped. And see how it's kind of concave? Wait, which way? Concave is in convex, concave. Is it concave? Did I pass 5th grade? I don't know. Okay, I'm back. I confirmed. It is concave. So the tongue side, the palatal side, the lingual side, whatever you want to call it, the side that's going to go inside toward the tongue is concave. It's caved in. The outer part that's more flat that you see goes toward the lip. So this is the tooth. If you find this on the floor, you're like, oh snap. And you look and you're like, okay, this side is caved in a little bit more. That's the tongue side. You see where the hole is? they put it in. But legit, ER doctors, when there's multiple teeth missing from like motorcycle accidents, car accidents, they have put them in the wrong holes, they've put them backward, but they send them then to the dentist and it's been stored in biologic media in the hole, in the mouth. So that's okay. We can take them out and move them and put them where they need to go. So as horrific as that sounds, it'll work still. Just get to your dentist ASAP. Every time I post this PSA about putting back a permanent tooth into the socket if it was knocked out, and I pretty much make all of you faint by being like, put it back like this. And you're like, ah! The inevitable next question to follow up is, does it hurt? And I just want to be like, y'all, it hurt like heck coming out. And then you think of like people in car accidents or mothers with adrenaline rushing who do amazing things like lift up cars to get their kid out from under them. Crazy stuff. Your adrenaline is going and then endorphins, all these things that are helping your body to overcome that pain response that was the most painful part, it coming out. If you get it in immediately before there's too much swelling and before a blood clot forms in that socket where it was taken out, if you get it right back in there, and there are people all in the comments, if you go look like cheer accident, car accident, my friend knocked their tooth out, they put it right back in and it stuck. So if you can get it right back in, then it will swell a little and then it will bleed a little in that little area surrounding the tooth, and that's actually going to lock it into place. So the sooner you can get it right back in, the better. It's really not going to hurt any more than it's already hurting, and it's probably going to hurt a little less just from the shock of everything from endorphins and the adrenaline going. So sounds horrific, I know, but if you can imagine just in the chaos of everything, a tooth getting knocked out all of a sudden, you want to get right back in there. So if your bestie gets in a fight and his tooth is knocked out, really the best thing you can do is just pick it right up. As long as it's not dirty, shove it right back in there. You did him a world of good. Thanks. Best friends forever. Yes, and it's literally in my first aid kit. I'll show you guys some of the main things I have in there, but that's an important one. My husband is an ophthalmologist, so we are quite paranoid about injuries to the eyes and the teeth. So I'll show you what we have in our emergency kit, see if anything aligns. And if you're looking for where to find these things, now the clock app is like to a lot of things that we try to show you where to go, so you can screenshot this real fast. Numero uno, of course, being save a tooth. It's this little jar. It contains Hank's balanced salt solution, and it's great. You just open it up, stick the tooth in, and run to the dentist. I give this every year to my kids' coaches, to their teachers, the school nurse. This is a great thing. Then for just generally cleaning wounds, got saline. You can use this just normal saline. The key for storing a tooth, rinsing a tooth, is that it is sterile and that it's isotonic. You're not using water, no water, and don't touch the root, okay? But this can work for cleaning wounds, and put it in a cup for tooth storage. Then Band-Aid, steri strips, obvi. And then I really like these. They're Micromend. They've got little like grippers to help close a wound. So I haven't had to use them, but I got them if I need them. Trauma shears, because I'm that paranoid. I also had this weird fear of my kids' hair getting stuck in the pool in the bottom, and so I wanted to be able to like quickly chop their hair off if they got stuck in the little drain at the bottom, and that was why these ended up in there. Also have Dermabond, which not everyone will be able to acquire, but my husband does. Because we had to glue her forehead while she was laying screaming on the countertop, we glued it shut. Rather than go to urgent care, we're like, we are two surgeons. We can do this. And we did. Didn't score bad. I have a little pill crusher, and I keep Benadryl tablets in it just for allergic reactions, something like that. I have it on hand. And then this is a little cup. You can put some of that sterile saline solution in, have it pressed against their eye, and rinse their eye if they get like glitter or dirt in it. Anything I missed? What do you guys have in yours? I hope this is helpful. If you've got any questions, let me know. There are always follow-up questions to this, and I'm happy to answer them either as shorts or in the replies. And then YouTube's going to show you next the video that they think you're most going to enjoy. We are trying to preserve periodontal ligament cells that are still alive, we hope. Not if you grab it.